Hi friends, this video is about important multiple choice questions on transmission and distribution. If you are first time watching my video, please subscribe this channel and press the bell icon so that you will get the updates. See here. By which of the following system electrical power may be transmitted? See here. By which of the following system electrical power may be transmitted? That is overhead system and underground system. That is both A and B is the correct answer. Electrical power may be transmitted through overhead and underground system. See in detail. Regarding overhead and underground cables, a difference you can see. Regarding fault location, it is easy to find the location of the fault. Regarding underground, as the underground cable is invisible, it is very difficult. Okay, it is difficult and it is easy. Regarding fault location, regarding initial cost, there is no initial cost because there is no digging or manholes. Okay, regarding underground cable, initial cost of underground is more. Okay, initial cost is more. Chance of fault, as the overhead lines are exposed to environment, the chance of faults are more. Chance of fault is more in case of overhead lines. The cables are not exposed to environment, these are less chance of fault. Okay, less chance of fault in case of underground cables. Regarding safety, this system is less safe. Overhead lines is less safe and this is safer, very safety. Okay, because underground cables are very safe. Useful life, in this useful life is approximately 20 to 25 years of age. Regarding underground cables, life is 40 to 50 years. So these are the important difference between overhead lines and underground lines. Second question, which connects consumer terminals to distribution? Which connects consumer terminals to distribution? Which one? Distributors, service mains, feeders, none of them. The correct answer is service mains. Service mains connects the consumer terminal to distribution. You can see here, these are the service mains. Service mains connects the distribution to consumer terminals. Okay, distribution to consumer terminals. These are the service mains. Okay. The underground system cannot be operated above. The underground system cannot be operated above which voltage? That is 66 kV voltage. Cannot be operated above 66 kV voltage because due to difficulty in the insulation. Okay, for underground, due to difficulty in the insulation, we cannot use the above 66 kV. Okay, for in case of overhead line, we can use up to 400 kV. We can use up to 400 kV in case of overhead lines, but in underground system we cannot use more than 66 kV due to difficulty in the insulation. So overhead system can be designed for operation up to 400 kV. Okay, it can be operated up to 400 kV. In case of underground system, it can operate up to 66 kV only. Okay, so D is the correct answer. Regarding size of conductor is most economical. Regarding size of a conductor is most economical, the statement is Kelvin's law. Okay, this is regarding Kelvin's law. You can see here, if a variable part of annual cost on account of interest and depreciation on the capital outlay is the annual cost of electrical energy wasted in the conductors, the total annual cost will be minimum and the corresponding size of conductor will be most economical. This statement is regarding Kelvin's law. Just remember that. The wooden poles well impregnated with the creosote oil or any preservative compound have life. How many years? That is 25 to 30 years. The wooden poles well impregnated with creosote oil or any preservative compound have life up to 25 to 30 years. So C is the correct answer here. So here you can see the wooden poles with creosote oil. These are the wooden poles with creosote oil. Okay, so this is the creosote oil, and with this oil wooden poles will be impregnated for the preservative purpose. So here you have observed the wooden poles and creosote oil, and its life is 25 to 30 years. And which of the following material not used for transmission and distribution of electrical power? Which of the following material not used for transmission and distribution of electrical power? The correct answer is tungsten. So copper will be used, aluminum also will be used, steel also will be used. Only tungsten only we will not use in transmission and distribution. Galvanized steel wire is generally used as stay wire, earth wire, structural components. The correct answer is all of the above. So galvanized steel wire can be used as stay wire, earth wire and structural components. So all of these are the correct answer here. The usual spans with RCC poles are 80 to 100 meters. Okay, it's not 40 to 50, it is 80 to 100 meters. The usual spans with RCC pole. RC is nothing but a reinforced cement concrete poles. Reinforced cement concrete poles. The usual span is 80 to 100 meters. The corona is considerably affected by which of the following? Size of the conductor, shape of the conductor, surface of the condition of the conductor. The correct answer is all of this. It depends on size of the conductor, shape of the conductor and surface condition of the conductor. D is the correct answer here. And in practical also you can see, in practical it appears to be like this. Okay, in practically the corona appears to be like this. Violet glow you can see, hissing noise will come and ozone gas will be released in case of corona. So it depends on size, shape and surface condition of the conductor. And which of the following are the constants of the transmission lines? What are the constants here? Resistance, inductance and capacitance, RLC, are the constants of the transmission lines. So all of these is the correct answer here. The 310 kilometer line is considered as long line, medium line, short line. The correct answer is long line. So up to 80 kilometers the transmission line is short transmission line, and 80 to 160, okay, 80 to 160 kilometers the transmission line is medium transmission line, and greater than 160 kilometers the transmission line is long transmission lines. This is more than 160, therefore this is long line. Okay, so E is the correct answer here. And the phenomena of rise in voltage at the receiving end. Rise in voltage at the receiving end of the open circuit or lightly loaded line is called as which one? Seebeck effect, Ferranti effect, Raman effect, none of these. The correct answer is Ferranti effect. So Ferranti effect is about rise in voltage at the receiving end. Rise in voltage at the receiving end of the lightly loaded circuit. Okay, the phenomena of rise in voltage at the receiving end of the open circuit or lightly loaded is called as Ferranti effect. Important, just remember. The square root of ratio of line impedance and shunt admittance is called as the ratio of line impedance. The ratio of line impedance to the shunt admittance. Shunt admittance is called as surge impedance. Okay, Z is equals to L by C. Z is equals to L by C. Surge impedance is nothing but a root over L by C. The square root of ratio of line impedance to the shunt admittance is called as surge impedance of the line. This is the correct answer. So these are the some of the important questions from transmission and distribution, and remaining questions I will discuss in the next video. And thanks for watching this video. Please like this video and share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe this channel for more updates. Okay, thank you.